Footballers Sunday Live.
Hello, hello. As the great poet Bono once said, that was a long time ago. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Live. It's me, your best friend of the moment, Mike, the Fantasy Hitman Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, joined as always by my best friend, the man whose wealth knows no bounds, Judge Giamatti himself. Brooks, how are you doing this fine day?
Great, Mike. Thank you. What an intro. How are you doing?
That's the most words that Brooks has ever strung together in his entire life.
Probably.
Tremendous. Welcome to week 4. Here we are. Your boy got a haircut. Cleaned everything up. Just for you, though. Just for the people. Got to keep it beautiful. That's what I always say. Oh, so if you're just joining us for the first time, here's what we do. We break down the news. We look at the players that are trending with start-sit questions, and then we get into your questions. I jump into they're flying in, and I do my best to grab as many as I can. A reminder, if I do not touch on a player that you have a question about, I'm sorry, I cannot get to all of them, but thefantasyfootballers.com, we've got our start-sit tool there. We've got our rankings that we'll keep updating them as soon as I jump off of here. I will go and make sure that I'm keeping them tight, keeping them right, but that's our hub for all the rankings questions. But, Brooks, we ready to get into this?
Yes, sir.
The big picture.
All right, week 4, and the injuries are starting to pile up. Thankfully, there's not like those real lingering questions. I suppose Josh Jacobs on a Monday night, that would be a pretty large, or I guess the largest question where we just don't know. He's called questionable, but he was also a game-time decision. I have no real read if Josh Jacobs is going to play or not. If he doesn't, we said it last week, but Peyton Barber against the Chargers, you could definitely do worse than that. But here we go. Lamar Jackson with the back issue. He missed a couple practices. He is expected to play. The budget magician, he tried his best to fool us and make us think that Andy Dalton could possibly start. Nay, he is out. Justin Fields will be getting his second start. Let's hope for everybody involved. Everybody. Fantasy players, Bears fans, Bears players. Let's hope that it goes better than last week. But Nick Foles will be the backup. Carson Wentz is going to play. Dalvin Cook is back after the 1-week absence from the ankle problem. I would expect him to play a full slate of snaps given what Mike Zimmer has said in the past. I am playing him with, I don't call it full confidence, but there's no possible way that you're benching Dalvin Cook. Antonio Gibson has that shin issue, and he's going to play. So do not worry there. We'll see if he's limited or not. I mean, like, he's going to play. He got a practice in on Friday. He should be good to go. Darrell Henderson of the Los Angeles Rams, he is expected to play. And on top of that, he will not be on a snap count. That was from a beat reporter out of Los Angeles. Johnny Taylor is in. DeAndre Swift is in. And then we have the not expected to play. Elijah Mitchell, the missile himself. He is not going to play. That means that Trey Sermon is back. He is up. He is in. He is worth a start as a running back too. Giovanni Bernard is out after the remember I was talking about how Tom Brady was like just getting his guys killed, and that included Giovanni Bernard at the end of the game for what seemed like no reason. I mean, the reason was to win the football game, but I don't know. It was a strange play, but Gio got hurt, and now he is out. That should be a big upgrade for Leonard Fournette in terms of receptions, as he is the one that is now the most trustworthy. Maybe Keyshawn Vaughn gets in there a little bit more, but if you got Leonard Fournette, I'm playing him with confidence this week. Let's see. Chase Claypool is out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The roulette of injuries at the wide receiver position. Deontay Johnson is going to play, and Juju, the one who got injured in the game and was limited in practice, he's going to play, but Chase Claypool is out. I don't know what's going on up there. Tyler Lockett is expected to play. Shepard and Slayton for the New York Giants, they are both out. Evan Ingram, is interesting. Kadarius Toney is interesting, maybe more in a DFS GPP type of a situation, but he was a first-round pick. Maybe you stash him on your bench and just see what happens. For the Ravens, Rashad Bateman and Miles Boykin, they're not ready to get onto the field just yet. Curtis Samuel for Washington, he is going to play. I am not playing him. I want to see how this shakes out. It's week 4. You should theoretically have someone else you can start this week on top of Curtis Samuel. But if you stashed him, congratulations. Let's see how he plays. Let's see how he returns. Rob Gronkowski in just a real punch right into my heart. He will not be playing. He apparently suffered multiple hairline fractures of his ribs. They were holding out hope that he could play. Football players, man, I don't know. But they were hoping that he could play. Thankfully for us fantasy players, they ruled him out yesterday. Of course, they waited until, just after my waiver period had run. Thanks for that. But at least they gave me the time that this morning I don't have to sit on a doubtful Rob Gronkowski for the Sunday night game and just be freaked out the whole day. Is Gronk going to play? Is he not going to play? So make the pivot where you possibly can. If your options are absolutely in dire straits, Cameron Brate should be the replacement for Rob Gronkowski for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. O.J. Howard still getting limited snaps. The matchup sucks against the Patriots. They were the ones who goose-ickied. They shut down Mike Gesicki. They're a strong team against the tight end. It's Tom Brady, but just saying that, whatever. Could do worse with Cameron Brate. George Kittle is expected to play. Jack Doyle, baby hands, is in, ruining our hopes and our dreams for the Gigantor situation. And Gerald Everett is not expected to play this afternoon for the Seattle Seahawks. Will Disley, I would play Will Disley over Cameron Brate. So take that for what you will for the tight end position. Brooks, have you assembled our list from the website?
Yes, sir.
He's so hot right now.
He's so hot right now. This is where we take a look at the website. We see which players are being asked about the most in the start-sit tool, and we know that those are the trending players. Those are the hot questions that we have right now. Brooks, who is up first?
I think people are tilting over that same quarterback as last week, Mike, and now he doesn't have A.J. Brown or Julio.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, yeah. All right.
Are you playing Sam Darnold over Tannehill? Darnold against the Cowboys.
Okay. Yes is the short answer on this. Look, we're 3 weeks in. I get that it's difficult to buy into Sam Darnold. 3 weeks compared to multiple years of just mediocrity for Sam Darnold when he was up in the New York Jets. But he's taken on Dallas. I talked about him on somewhere, whatever. But the Dallas, they've given up the second most passing yards. They're giving up huge chunk plays. Now, they've played against some good quarterbacks and some good teams. But, well, I guess, Jalen Hurts, that was a lot of garbage time in there. But Sam Darnold, I would trust him over Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is not the absolute worst play in the world. He still has the cheat code. He still has his legs that he could go to. This game certainly could turn into Derrick Henry just getting the ball 50,000 times. It could turn into that. But if you're backed into a corner where you have to start Ryan Tannehill, I'm just trying to reassure you, he is a good quarterback and can still get some things done despite not having his superstars. The ceiling for a monster game is probably not there this week, but it's still okay to play Tannehill. Who else are they asking about, though, Brooks?
Fireball. Tim Patrick.
Versus Ryan Tannehill?
Oh, so sorry. I got ahead
We
of
moved on?
I got ahead of myself.
Okay,
No, there's one more.
Fireball Tim Patrick against the Baltimore Ravens against who?
Corey Davis.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so Corey Davis is difficult. He's in the matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Brooks, did you hear this? Jamison Crowder is activated.
What?
That's what I'm saying, man. I can't believe it. It's finally happening. It's Crowder week. Crowder should go into the slot. I'm making the jokes here, but Jamison Crowder is legitimately someone. If you have a spot, I would put him on the bench. He could walk into 12-plus targets this week. Braxton Berrios has been their slot guy, and he has just been feasting on targets. Meanwhile, Corey Davis, the target share that we were promised in the preseason, that has seemed to fallen by the wayside here. We got a really strong week 1 because of the multiple touchdowns, but it has not been great for Corey Davis. It hasn't been great for the Jets in general, but let's see. So my faith in him versus Tim Patrick, a.k.a. Fireball Tim. I don't even know where we landed. He's Fireball Jones. He's Fireball Tim Patrick. I don't know. He's Fireball because he's spicy. I like him. The targets should be there. It's him. It's Courtland Sutton. And it's Noah Fant. I mean, KJ Hamler now out for the season with the ACL tear. Jerry Jeudy's still going to miss a couple weeks with the ankle sprain. The Baltimore Ravens can score. Now they've got they've had some defensive problems. They've had some injuries. Let's see if they can recover from that situation. But if that were my choice, I don't think Corey Davis is the one. I guess this was a long explanation for me to get there. I think Jamison Crowder will be the number 1 target. Corey Davis has more valuable targets, but Crowder will take the highest target share. So Corey Davis is number 2. The same way that Tim Patrick is the number 2, except Tim Patrick has real touchdown upside. He's been a sensational fill-in player. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I would play Fireball in that situation. Who's next?
All right, you're going to play Fireball or hot waiver wire pickup Emmanuel Sanders versus the Texans.
Oh, man. So, let's see let's find out what that line is at. So, the Buffalo Bills are favored currently by 17 points, at least by the report that I'm looking at, which gives them an implied team total of nearly 32 points. So, just because the over-under is 46.5, I'm not scared off of playing the Buffalo Bills and their accompanying pieces. Man, I really, really like Stephon Diggs this week. I think that this could be where he takes off and explodes. We brought him up on our Never Not Working segments of the air yards are there, just it hasn't been realized. So, but Manny Sanders versus Tim Patrick, I would play goodness. I would play Tim Patrick unless I don't think Tim Patrick can give you a game like we saw last week from Emmanuel Sanders where it's just massive. That's probably not likely for Tim Patrick, or I should say more likely for Emmanuel Sanders, especially in this matchup against the Houston Texans. So what do I need? Do I need a floor? I'm going to go with Tim Patrick. Do I need ceiling? I would go with Emmanuel Sanders. Who's next?
All right, Tim Patrick or Brandon Ayuk.
The people want to talk about Fireball, apparently.
Yeah, and then we got a few more Ayuk.
Okay, yeah, that probably makes sense. So Brandon Ayuk gets to take on Seattle. To me, he's back. Like wherever you were in week 1, that's where I am now with Brandon Ayuk, he was a 6th round pick. We're not sure where he will fit in the pecking order of targets. Now, George Kittle, while expected to play, we had a whole week where he was, banged up. Kyle Shanahan saying we don't know if he's going to play or not. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, how does that target share really split out? And what you could say for Ayuk is he's on the field, he's running the routes. The opportunity here against Seattle it's solid. I think that the Seattle Seahawks can easily rack up some points here against the 49ers. So would I play Brandon Ayuk or Tim Patrick? I think I would still probably stick with Fireball there, feeling a little bit safer, more secure, that where Noah Fant is a solid weapon for the Denver Broncos, but to this point at least, I don't think that Noah Fant can take over the game like George Kittle can. So this is just the probability of that could happen. Like George Kittle can come out and just take over the game, and Deebo and Ayuk do basically nothing. That I don't think that's going to happen for Noah Fant, so I would take the matchup against the Ravens and Fireball.
Would you play Ayuk or Antonio Brown? That's a popular one.
Almost every single Antonio Brown question I have received, I've said Antonio Brown. He is not injured. He was simply on the COVID list and couldn't make it back in time to play. He's cleared. He is back. You kind of have the revenge game, Antonio Brown, and then you have that stacking with the revenge game of Tom Brady here. But the biggest story for me is Rob Gronkowski is out. And while I mentioned Cameron Brate is like a desperation stream, the Patriots are solid against the tight end. And like the big wide receivers for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, I'm not worried about Chris Godwin, but Mike Evans could struggle here in this matchup. The New England secondary is very strong, but Antonio Brown just gets open. So we've got 2 games here from Antonio Brown. One massive, one bust. And that's, kind of how it's going to go for Antonio Brown. But this is a week that I would bet on things happening for Antonio Brown because of the Gronkowski injury.
All right, I'm bringing it back to Corey Davis. Are you for sure Ayuk over Corey Davis in this week?
Yeah, okay. I know that the matchup is sensational here for Corey Davis against the Tennessee Titans, but he's so I don't know. I think he's getting, sort of phased to the side here. Could Corey Davis have a massive game? I'm not ruling that out, but the way that I play fantasy football, I'm not currently betting on an outside receiver for the New York Jets.
All right, and a couple Chuba Hubbard. Would you go him or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Oh, okay, that's an excellent question. Chuba Hubbard gets the matchup against Dallin. He gets the matchup against Dallas, while the Kansas City Chiefs are going to take on the Eagles, which, if you have not heard the news for the Eagles, their offensive line, yet again, is decimated. The only remaining starter for this year in Week 4 is Kelsey at the center position. Like, when I made all those Eagles my starts of the week, because the matchup against Kansas City is something you can exploit for fantasy, I didn't realize the whole offensive line was going to be out. This could be a situation here for the Eagles. But anyway, so back to the question. Chuba or Clyde? I lean – man, that's a tough one. They did finally get Clyde back going. Looked like they had the confidence there. And in – a game script that certainly could happen against the Eagles. Maybe they run, but that's not really the Kansas City Chiefs style. They'll just keep throwing and they'll just keep scoring points until the end of the game. Chuba should see a pretty Christian McCaffrey-like workload. He is definitely not Christian McCaffrey. They are 2 different players, but Chuba has okay hands and he has home run speed. We saw it last year with Mike Davis. That Matt Ja Rule is just – he's going to run his game plan, and he built it with a featured running back, and I believe that's what will happen here with Chuba Hubbard, where Clyde has all these other questions. So if you picked up Chuba, I would play him over Clyde. What else do we got, Brooks?
Would you play him in the early games over Henderson? He's part of the later games.
I would play Darrell Henderson. The Arizona Cardinals defense cannot stop running backs. And it was like, this was my eyeballs told me this when I was watching them play. And then there's a whole bunch of metrics, too, behind the scenes that you can look at and go, holy crap, they struggle against the run right now, 3 weeks in, granted. But Henderson is back. We're told he will not be on a snap count. That's obviously not that's not law when a beat reporter comes out and says that, but it's at least a confidence boost that the team is better with Darrell Henderson than Sony. Sony's a fine fill-in, but he's a backup for this team. Henderson is a great player. I would roll with him. Do we have anything else, Brooks?
Last one. I think I got so far ahead of myself earlier. I didn't ask the Tannehill or Heineke question, did I?
Oh, no, you did not.
Okay. That's a very popular question.
And I have answered that question. And honestly, I've answered it going back and forth of not exactly sure. Like I was like, Ryan Tannehill is the better quarterback. He's lost his weapons, but he is still the better quarterback. And now, as of Sunday morning, I would play Heineke. The matchup is decent for him. He's got his weapons. Antonio Gibson will be back. And he's been a top 12 quarterback since he took over the job for Ryan Fitzpatrick. The guy's willing to sling it. The guy is willing to run when he needs to. It's not a beautiful thing to see. Like, it's not fine art that you're out there viewing, taking it in, soaking it in, finding the meaning of life. But Taylor Heineke's finding a way to get it done at the quarterback position. So I would play him over Ryan Tannehill. Before I get to the questions from the people, I want to thank our beautiful sponsor, Pristine Auction. PristineAuction.com, the best memorabilia site. We're full of stuff all over the set that you can find that is signed by players, and we get it all from Pristine Auction. And on the wall, it's Austin Eckler. You can't see it. You've seen it before if you've tuned into the YouTube. But Austin Eckler's on the wall. Use the code BALLERS when you sign up, and you're going to get $10. Let's get into the questions.
Stardom, set 'em.
All right, Daryl Clark wants to know Chase Edmonds or Miles Sanders. I am going Chase Edmonds in that question. I don't want to mess around with Miles Sanders with a bad offensive line, and Miles Sanders isn't like they have Kenneth Gainwell that they can go to at any moment when they want a pass-catching running back. We got Jake, who just says, Melvin Gordon? He is expected to play. If you were ready to go to sign to play Melvin Gordon, I would make that happen. Let's see. Next question. Junior wants to know Myles Gaskin or Trey Sermon. That is a sensational question. You got Myles Gaskin against the Indianapolis Colts. Man. And Trey Sermon is such a question mark, but I know Jason likes Myles Gaskin this week. I would play Trey Sermon. I'm going to risk it. Look, that is definitely a higher risk maneuver. Gaskin is safe for points. He will not submarine your team with a 2-point outing, where Trey Sermon, theoretically that could happen. But I'm going to roll the dice there. I'm going to take the San Francisco running back who should be the starter. Next question is Jeff wants to know Dak or Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts is a fine play against the Chiefs. He's going to run. He's going to put up some points, but I would stick with Dak Prescott here. That Philadelphia game could turn into an absolute bloodbath. Eduardo, Allen Robinson or Deontay Johnson in full PPR. A little surprised that his name wasn't one of the Who's Hot guys, as Justin Fields is starting again. It was a disaster last week. It's been pretty close to a disaster all 3 weeks for Allen Robinson. And I would play Deontay Johnson in a full-point PPR. They're missing one of their pieces in Chase Claypool. Deontay is a PPR guy. If you put Allen Robinson on the bench and he has a great game with Justin Fields, great. Like I'll feel good about that. But I think that in this situation this week, I'm going to play Deontay. Let's see. There was a Chase Edmonds or Cordero Patterson from Jason with a Y. Jason with a Y. Chase Edmonds. Patterson's production, while impressive and seems like he will be a part of this game and part of the team, or clearly he's a part of the team, but you know what I mean, like a target share that's reliable from week to week. He's dominating because of touchdowns. So Chase Edmonds not scoring a bunch or at all. He did get a carry inside the 5, and then James Conner scored twice, but he got one. We got one. I think that's 200 he's matched his career total in this short season. So I'll go with Chase Edmonds. Let's see. Next question is okay, here we go. Let's test it. Oh boy, Oberto, Crowder or Patterson in a PPR? I'm going Crowder, man. I'm gonna trust the process of those slot wide receiver receptions going or flowing, bountifully from Zach Wilson, the rookie. And I'm going to count on those over the PPR upside of Cordero Patterson. All right, we got time for just a few more. Remember, thefantasyfootballers.com can have all of your questions answered there as well. So Todd Brown, half-point PPR, Gibson or Lamb? Go with Lamb. I think Gibson's fine, but if you have an option like CeeDee Lamb, you just avoid the potential headache that Antonio Gibson could bring for some people. Adam wants to know Robbie Anderson or Henry Ruggs. Oh, goodness gracious. I would play – man, I think I would just go Henry Ruggs there and hope for the best. Yes, Robbie could get more involved now that Christian McCaffrey is out. Maybe some of those running back targets go back to Robbie. But that remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Henry Ruggs – 4 to 5 targets a week and huge playability. So I would just I don't like it, but I would go with Henry Ruggs. And then the last question here, we got Jackson O'Brien, Kenyon Drake, or J.D. McKissick. Smooches, it's a PPR. I'm going to go with J.D. McKissick in this matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Kenyon Drake is like whatever. I'm not going to get into Kenny Drake and how bizarre that signing is for the Raiders. And then last one, I'll throw this out there. We got Abner says Pittman or Robinson. I have this exact same question in our league of record. It is a half point. I went Robinson over Pittman. So that's how I want to be mad about. But that's what I want to be angry with myself this afternoon. That's going to do it. Thank you for joining me, thefantasyfootballers.com. I wish you nothing but the best. I wish your opponents nothing but the worst. And remember to keep it beautiful. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Goodbye.